the aspect of you being listed, CRB. Then you have to apply for another facility or being told, in fact, we've just realized we cannot really facilitate you with this, loan because you've been listed. You've not been paid for the last 3 months or 2 months. You didn't have any realization that there is a connection.
To be honest, then
it wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't a
big deal.
Another point to bring across, I think, is if you can pay more, please do. Because I feel, yes, it's important to start, but as your blessings keep growing, so should your contribution.
Your responsibility.
Yes, your responsibility to people becomes a lot more. But can you imagine if you pay 1,700, yet what you were granted is supposed to be granted to another student over a period of 2 years, but all of us stick on 5 SOC. You get?
Yeah.
We seriously curtail the number of people who so I'm like, every time your blessing grows in terms of your income, bless the next person. It's your responsibility, to pay it back anyway. It reduces your interest. Kwani, what kind of financial literacy do you have? And thirdly, like, just be a good person. Like, just be a good person.
That is the best point.
You know,
always realize it is a mandatory thing to do, and you have also the moral imperative because someone else needs to benefit out of it. Good. Martin, you had to say something before I come to
one of the things is what I also did to hasten the process of clearing this loan. I cleared it in a span of less than 4 years, actually. So I increased my amount. The more you get something, see kuomoka, but essentially when you get something small, you just increase the amount. You'll actually clear it very fast.
You're opening my mind on the aspect of relations, and maybe you have a relations manager from HELB that you walked the journey with, right from the go-getting until the end of that particular education, right? Maybe you can tell me, we've spoken with people and they've said, I began with Vitalis. Vitalis walked with me even during this pandemic. He really came through. He called and said, hey, have you been affected? Is there a way we can try and restructure, your repayment? Any of you?
Thankfully, I finished paying quite a while back. We used to be given this certificate. Oh my God, it felt like, one of those graduations.
But did you have someone that you walked to that, this was a face of like...
Unfortunately, back then, especially in that whole analog space, and them having to deal in what I believe at that time was a magnitude of students, right? At that time, they were only giving public universities, and not, only public, but we were only 6 universities at that time anyway. So, I told you, ulipewa na nani your loans. I told you came and found your name on a list. You were given your letter, you gave your account number, and the money was posted into an account, and you never met a face. Actually, I think the first face I spoke to was when I collected my certificate. But I had a seamless relationship with them, so I did not... And then you still had to go to anniversary towers, so I did not get the face, but I had a seamless relationship. I cannot complain.
Fantastic.
For me, I have actually. I still have a couple of people that I communicate to. A few people at the customer care desk, and then someone at the accounts office? Yes, where now you confirm have you received the payment for this month and things like that. So I'm still paying, which is a bit painful, but I know someone else is going to benefit, especially during this period of COVID-19. They've not adjusted my figures yet to probably a lower amount because I'm paying 7,000 per month. We have pay cuts at my place of work, but I don't see...
But have you reached out? Because
now the
this
issue,
human person, the human face.
No, I haven't reached out because even me, I want to finish that loan.
Yes.
And also have now that ujiambie, if I'm earning this, what can I set aside so that I can have a better future in the maybe years to come?
Which I'm inclined to actually take the conversation to, savings and the culture of, just financial literacy and also mental wellness. Because at the end of the day, if they take away your salary, if living hand to mouth, And you've seen with COVID-19 pandemic, we're living in torrid times. People have been subjected in that particular space. Mental wellness has become a big subject. We can see suicidal ideations as well. This is a conversation we want to bring it on the table. And even in line with Wetu, how then do you, because I know there's so many of them that have been affected, they cannot now repay their loans as well. So they want maybe help to restructure, maybe even counseling, yeah, for just for good measure. This could be part of the CSR that we're talking about. Let's just begin with you, Duta, in that space.
If anything COVID has taught us is reach out.
Reach out.
Just, if you want to find out about how Soxy is doing, reach out to Soxy. I know we are being educated to keep social distance, but I've also realized behind closed doors, people are depressed. People are down. People are struggling, right? So if I send Soxy a WhatsApp and he says, Niko poa, and then 2 days later you're hearing something different, it's just, sometimes I just say, in this date and space, just reach out to someone. I may not want to enter his home because he has young children and I also want to take care of his wife, but I can go to the parking lot and see him physically to make sure that iyo niko poa is not while he's standing at the edge of a cliff. People are saying niko poa, there's no food in the house and they have children. People are saying niko poa and they have not showered or they have not seen sunlight or left their houses in such a long time. So in this space right now, whether or not, let's say you're going through the trauma of a part of your salary missing, remember to be grateful that there is a part remaining. Because there are many people who are told it's been real, we cannot afford you. But secondly, that said, and I know it's a bit expensive and it might take a bit more of stretching, but reach out to that person. Don't worry about somebody and then sit back. If you think about that person, check on them if it is within something that you're able to do. Just check on them. Because I am hearing stories of people saying niko poa while they jump off a building or take their own lives. So in that space right now, I'd say take care of yourself. Remember the good stuff. By the way, right now there isn't much, but there is good still. And share your time and your effort and your care and your love with somebody else. I think it makes it a little bit easier.
Fascinating.
I think just to pick up from where Nduta's left, someone recently asked me, Soxy nikidai, utasema nini kunihusu? You know, like what would you say about me? Because we see people saying very good things when people pass on, but we rarely tell these people these things when they are alive. You know, basically cast up a thought in my mind, how many times do we celebrate our friends? And you see, when I say friends, it's not everyone is your friend, but you have an inner, you have your inner circle of maybe very few, maybe even 5 people who, when you're seriously feeling, when you don't have money, you can actually call. Na watakujudge, unajua, because Soxy wewe tunakuonanga, unajua, but they're actually people who we can have very real and authentic relationships. Because that's one of the things, one of the areas I think we never have. We are surrounded by very many people who we assume are friends, but are not necessarily our friends. They can be our colleagues, they can be our classmates, they can be family or church mates, you know, that we assume because tuko na watu wengi around sisi upiga story, are not necessarily your friends. So you need to identify your inner circle. And more often than not, your inner circle are not maybe even more than 5 people. But they are people that you can have genuine conversations with. Because I doubt if we have genuine conversations with each other. You know, this is someone who si need kumuuliza nikuje kwako.
That's true.
Nitaenda.
You just show up, yeah.
And showing up does not necessarily mean nakuja kukuuliza how are you doing. Una get? Because actually for men, when you ask me uko aje, nitakwambia niko poa. But not necessarily, it's not that I am okay, it's just the generic answer that I have for you. But when you have the inner circle of friends, what you'll be doing is you'll be going to spend time with them doing what they love, you know. For example, maybe huyu ni farmer anaenda kuvisit shamba yake mahali, ukimwescort, there are conversations that you'll have that will allow you to get where this person is, you know, without them telling you any papaya. But you see, there are conversations that we'll have, there are triggers that, you know, will bring up certain conversations, you know, atuko poa na wife yangu, manze hata tunaenda kuachana. But ukimuuliza uko aje na wife yako, atakwambia tu atuko poa. You get? But when you're having genuine conversations with your friends, there are things that will come up without you asking. And it only happens with your inner circle. Because you need to realize that not everyone surrounding you is your friend. And we need to accept that, you know, that when things are bad for me, not everyone will come through for me. Very few people will come through for me. When I'm hurting, there are very few people that I'll tell that I'm hurting, because everyone else may not believe, you know, that nimesota, hatujalala, hatuna food, because mtoto wangu yuko shule fulani, that utasema kwa nini unapeleka mtoto wako private school na unaweza mpeleka public school alafu kuja uniambia ati hauna pesa. Una get? But so we allow us to have authentic conversations with our inner circle, and also reach out to those people in your inner circle.